Hey everyone, in today's video, we're going to see about system design for AI and ML. So I'm planning the session for almost 3 days. So you'll be having in 2 weeks, 3 sessions in a week. So what we're planning to have is, I'm just going to explain every architecture, the entire system design for each example. And I just splitted with basic, intermediate, and advanced. So I'll be explaining every steps and each element and component why we need it. So let's get started with our first session, recommendation and ranking system. So how we plan system or the entire design for or using AI and ML. To take any ML model or ML application, it requires data and you need to pre-process it and you need to build using any algorithm like supervised, unsupervised, or deep learning models. Currently, we have AI, and later we need to deliver it to a user. It's not only that we have a lot of elements inside, like feature engineering, how we evaluate every products or elements or the output that we get after modeling, and what are the evaluation metrics that we use, and what are the metrics that we use with that, how we deliver our product to a end user. So system design is just for that when it comes to AI and ML. If you go with regular software system design or any building blocks that you use system design for, it is a bit different than ML because we include model in that and it requires a lot of memory and relevant to that. First, in recommendation system, we take user input. So any clicks or view on the page or input towards a sign in or sign out as use signal. Next, what we do is feature engineering that we do with user and also candidate generation. So feature engineering, we know how we do that with the regular data, but when it comes to user, it takes the user and their category and what item that they are interested in, and we just parse the entire data and pick the customers who are actively participating and purchasing, who are interested in different categories or anything. And we also silently evaluate user who are just came to browse or look around in the websites on any portal that we take. And here what you see is candidate generation. So candidate generation happens in two ways. One is collaborative and context based. So collaborative is something that we do using a wide range, where a product of shirt a user is buying means they also interested in sari. So it is a two different category, but they are interested in both. That is collaborative. And in some other organization, they prefer hybrid candidate generation, which is of everything. And context-based candidate generation is something. It is potentially on the category and singular to the user. So they prefer what they wanted from the beginning and they don't deviate from any other thing. And we have hidden pattern also somewhere. So that we will see in ranking model. So feature engineering and candidate generation both happens immediately with the user input. Next we go with the ranking model, where we need to identify what they are actually at. Ranking is something which is very important. It is not similar to feature engineering. It is completely different from feature engineering, but it takes the input pattern from feature engineering after that. So when we enter ranking model, it understands the pattern of a particular user, what they are purchasing at, what all the wish list, what are the things that they put in cart, and why they actually come into for this particular website, and something which can we say with offline and A/B evaluation done with the ranking based on the pattern that we do. Offline is something past data, analyzing past data of a user or uh, a user who came before, or with the history of purchase happened for that particular product or group of product, or based on the categories. Uh, A/B evaluation is something that we do online. Immediately after they purchase. So we need to identify the history and pattern and number of clicks that happens for the particular product or a brand. Why, color preferences. So these things have been identified with offline and A/B evaluations in a quick metric. Then we go with re-ranking and filtering. So why we need re-ranking and filtering is because to restrict some of the elements which are like out of stock, or if it is anything crossing the limits of showing customers how to say sensitive information, or something that we need to protect customers from. So those things we need to filter, and the feedback happens later. But before that, we just need to filter and re-rank some of the things. Like we would have identified the patterns, everything, and re-ranking happens to restrict the elements. The products which are not available, that is major. And we should not show which user is buying these products. So undergarments it may be, or any thing that they wanted to purchase but they don't want it to show to other people. So hiding user names and personal information, those things we need to hide, and before serving to the as an output. So this serving layer also have cache, so where it need to get a feedback and logging information, because the filter happens before the feedback. Why means we need to filter out the name and details of particular user. So whenever this particular information leaks, it won't reveal who actually access to that data. So undergarments, if someone is buying for the kid or anybody, it should not show, or any medicine they are purchasing, it should not show this particular user with this address and phone number are purchasing this medicine regularly. It should not be shown. So that would be logged here safely with a ID of an user. So that is how we can retrieve information of particular user when we logged it. So it will be saved with the respect to ID, and it will be saved, and at last user will be delivered with the required they asked products or something, the service would be provided, and backing up with the information, but saved in a ID format instead of like saving it in a user information. The actual user's name, the entire details. So that is how this entire system and rankings, recommendation and ranking system works. When it comes to system design, we need to see this entire thing elaborately in this way. This is how this complete model works backend. And we can include so many elements and components in here, but just for the basic view, I just included only few in here so that we can have like a quick view on how system design in ML have been seen. So that's all I have for today. In next session, we will see classification and real-time detection. So see you all next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.